What's up, guys? Welcome back to After the Storm. Welcome back to the NHL 06 Dynasty Mode series. We are right into the mid portion. We just passed Christmas in the schedule here. We'll go take a look at the calendar here. So on Christmas, or I should say Boxing Day, 4-3 win in our last episode against the... As I see stuff about Philip Zadina on my timeline, it is the 2023 off season when I am recording this. It is July 5th. So, anyways, 8 straight wins. We swept our 3-game roadie, and actually we have just been really every game lately. It's been since that Dallas game, 4-1 against Colorado as well, 3-1. The last 4 wins have all been 1-goal games, so it feels like some signs that maybe the winning streak's coming to an end. As of right now, we look... I don't think so. Not against Carolina, but... Didn't we lose a game? We did lose the game to Carolina here at one point. 11-3 also in the last time we met them. 7-6 against the Islanders. That was when we hit our breaking point with Cujo. So, not sure if we're putting Mark Dania. It's been a little while since I recorded. Probably been a week or so since I recorded last. But I know I would have made that change ahead of the end of the last episode. So let's go take a look at the preview of this game. All right, so here we go. So just before that, if you're liking the series so far, if you are just seeing this episode for the first time, I definitely encourage you to go back and watch from the beginning here. However, I will say, totally lost my train of thought there. My goodness, it's been a long day. I just got off work. Anyways, if you like these videos, if you like this series, hit that like button down below, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. These episodes do come out on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 12 o'clock Eastern time. So you can get those right to your phone, however you watch, a notification to remind you however you like it. But Tuesdays and Thursdays is when these episodes drop. In previewing our matchup, obviously a tale of 2 different seasons, a 29 point differential between our 2 teams. Of course, we are still at the point with these games, I would say probably until the next generation of consoles, NHL 08, before we're gonna even think about caring about our special teams. Yeah, it just doesn't... I mean, the penalty kill percentage, the power play percentage, it's just not overly realistic at this point in time, so we're not going to worry about it too much. Actually, the penalty kill for Carolina here is okay, but they're probably one of the worst teams at it in the NHL right now. So, nevertheless, 50 points for our squad, 5th in the NHL, 3rd in the division, or 3rd in the conference, and 1st leading the, I guess, what would be the Northeast Division at this point. On the other side, for Carolina, 21 points, 29th in the NHL's 2nd last, 15th dead last in the Eastern Conference. Of course, last in their division. Not having a good season. It's a bit of a surprise as well, considering the Carolina Hurricanes of this season won the Stanley Cup in real life. So, obviously, there were some additions, adjustments they made, and of course, the emergence of a rookie goaltender in Cam Ward that showed up to play come playoff time. But 4 goals for on average for our team, 2.91 goals against. And our goaltending matchup, I actually do have Hasek in, so maybe Denis played the last game. Maybe that's what's going on there. But back at home, Hasek, 3 stars across the board, 2 stars across the board for Martin Gerber. Of course, also a future Sens player. But 96 to an 83. This is a very winnable game for our squad. We are very hopeful we will get that done and extend the winning streak to 9 with a chance to get it to double digits in our next episode. And just going a little bit further here on Carolina, 78 goals for, 111 against on the season. 5-12-0-1 at home, 5-12-0-0 on the road. So basically a virtually identical team from home to away. So coming off a loss in their last game, 3-2 to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, I believe, one of the better teams in the game, especially at this time, even though they had to sacrifice their goaltender due to the salary cap and all that sort of stuff. But it's interesting that they were that close with Tampa Bay. And the lone injury for the Carolina Hurricanes, Pavel Brendel, of course, on our side, We do have Anton Volchenkov, who is not yet back. All right, guys, so that does it for the preview portion. Let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and kick off another matchup against the Carolina Hurricanes. All right, so we're wearing the alternate jerseys in this game. It's a matchup we've had a couple times so far, I believe 2, maybe 3 times already this season. Ooh, Andrew Castles, speedy player. We had, of course, like the 11-3 shootout. I believe we had a 7-6 loss against Carolina earlier in the season as well. Maybe I'm wrong on that one. No, a 3-2 loss to them. 7-6 was the Islanders game, but nevertheless, we are looking to keep our winning ways going. Spezza shot right on to start. There's again, Carolina is a team that we will certainly be eyeing up as we kind of go to the trade deadline here in this season. They got some players that are pretty decent. Of course, I think we would be looking more so than anything else right now. It's a nice shot there, Alfredson, but Gerber gives it right back. There's a shot. Still playing it out. Certainly going to look at some players on the Carolina Hurricanes here that we could potentially acquire toward at the deadline. They're a decent team. They're just not playing well at all so far this season. There's Smolinski working his way to the front. Ooh, try to go 5-hole. We're in the middle of a change. This Carolina team is just not great at all. There's Hedekin. Shot, that goes off the side of the net. The captain, Rod Brendamore. Bondra, no star next to his name. I think maybe he's got the flu or something right now. I think that's sparking my brain out of the last game. As we keep running a similar lineup. Get out of the lineup some players. Of course, Volchenkov, the big injury right now, but I think we're all kind of in agreement that we'd like to get to the point where maybe Volchenkov isn't our top line defender, or if we are going to leave him up there, we'll leave him up there in terms of adding in a better player next to Berard on that second pairing. Do like Phillips, but I think he's a little bit slower, not as good. And of course, there's going to be some stuff around the league we could potentially acquire, and we do have lots of assets that are kind of sitting around that we might be able to use. Ooh, chance there. There's Letowski, the speed. Ooh, Letowski gets hooked, but no call. Bruno Sejak. This might be Fisher's first game back in the lineup, maybe second. Can't really remember, actually. Ooh, Westcott, that one's tipped. Back over to Fisher. This has just become a shooting gallery early. Renberg shot and the rebound. Mike Fisher. It's going to bury that all day long. Renberg, McCammon, the assist. The fourth line strikes. For Gerber, he just feels like that dude is on an island in that play. Just absolutely no defensive help. But I think, honestly, the defense in Carolina is probably, and of course goaltending is a very big reason why they're not very good, but there's not a lot of star power on this back end. Hedekin finally turns it over. And Havlat easily unassisted. It's a couple moves, a bit of a head fake, a bit of a shoulder fake. And he just pots that one past Gerber. It's the tough season for the Carolina Hurricanes. Just continues to march on. Ooh, Heatley there, good chance. But it's just open season out in front of the net, and it's kind of wild. I think there was one shot on Hasek earlier in the period, and ever since then, there's a bad change. Defa, and that's just going to roll in. Poche over. Ooh, great save there by Gerber. Best save of the night so far, that's for sure. Shot right on. Best one at the end of the period there. But that'll do it. A 2-0 lead. A commanding style of play in this first period. Couple goals. Fisher, Havlat on the board. So we take a 2-0 lead to the second period. And shots were 15-1 in that opening frame. Just, yeah. It has been incredibly one-sided. That is their second shot of the game right there. Terodosky with the wood stick is kind of hilarious. I have no idea if he actually used that or not. Shot there, Stillman. Shot off the side of the net. Ooh, Bondra way wide. Oh, okay. So even with, I know with the flu, but even then, Bondra is the one player in our lineup that honestly misses the net quite a bit, to a strange amount. I will say there's not too many guys on the roster, especially on the forward side of things, that I'm okay with dealing, but I would say Bondra is one of them. If it comes to that, as Leclerc easily snipes that one past. Wow. Yeah, if a deal comes up and Bondra is a player that we can sort of move off of, or establish another player in the lineup, or we get somebody back that can fill in, wow, great save, Hasek right there. Fill in bottom six or something like that. Like, McCammon's a guy with lots of speed, and right now he's relegated to the fourth line. And he also snipes. Just, wow. So that'll make it 4-0, but we are getting ahead of ourselves a little bit. If it's a team currently that is working, firing on all cylinders, scoring throughout four lines. There's been no issues so far, but we of course just don't want to see a major injury at any point of the season really derail any sort of competitiveness. Like this season right there, that's the guy that went down in the Olympics, and it really changed the team. And as I said kind of in the opening jersey selection and team announcement of this series for NHL 06 is like if Hasek doesn't get injured, I genuinely believe, just based on how good this team was that season and the last year, Chara in Ottawa. Of course, we've moved on from him, but you know, like I genuinely believe that Havlat snipes again. Jesus, I just believe that Ottawa would have won the cup this season, and they were probably well on their way, and they did run into a hot team in Buffalo, but this Carolina team did pretty well against that Buffalo team as well. So I don't think we're going to get an easier game this season. This has been this has not been competitive thus far. Very one-sided. I'm honestly trying to take it easy because I just kind of feel bad for Carolina here. As I cough. And Brian Smolinski snipes, and I'm not sure if that's Urbe coming into the net or who that goaltender is. But that's the first shot on that goaltender as well. And yeah, this one's a rout. Oh no. Oh no. That can't go in. I don't know who that goalie is, but that is not a puck that can go in the net. 7-0 as we have opened up the shooting gallery on Carolina here. Latowski's, there's a save back in front. Leclaire, good save coming across. I think this is just, at this point, a pass around. Latowski way deep there. It's just, oh my god. The other aspect, too, is like, Tverdovsky's not a bad defenseman, but he's just the only one who's trying to move the puck out. Anyway, that will do it for the second period. 5 goals in that period. Hasek, I'm not sure, has faced 5 shots yet. And we lead 7-0 heading to the third. So Hasek has faced exactly 7 shots. We are outshooting them 27-7, outscoring them, of course, 7-0. This might be a good game to try just exclusively trick shots here in the third. We haven't scored on one yet this season, I don't think. I mean, it's not as if we've had, like, breakaways, though. So, it's just been clean shots somehow. Oh, here, speaking of which, good chance there. Heatley, oh, great save, whoever that was. Again, I don't know who has come into the net here for... I don't... also, I should say, if you're watching this and you're... You know... Oh, it's Jamie's store. There it is. I was going to say, if you're watching the video here and you're hearing Jim Houston say store or whatever, like, I don't have the commentary on anymore because I noticed that audio and there's a delay with the recording software I use, so it would overlap. I'm sure you guys noticed if you watched every episode, you've certainly noticed this for the first 20 episodes or so. Oh my goodness, that nearly came right back. But yeah, I've just turned it off. Smolinski there on the rebound. His second of the game. Havlat's got a couple, I believe, as well. It has been a complete domination. And I don't know. Yeah, I might spoil this, but I'll play against the hockey gods, but I don't know if there's been a shutout as of yet in this mode for us. there. Ooh, Defoe. Here's Renberg. Back in front. That was a great chance. It's been a... It's not been close. That's for sure. At this point, just playing to get the puck out of the zone here. Easy stop for Hasek. 6 minutes to go. Renberg staying out. Shot way from the point. Turned over. Leclerc. So yeah, the trick shots even still are not working well, which is... I actually don't mind. Oh no, what a bad change that was. Yeah, there's Lindros getting a second. One thing I've actually really liked about how we've set this team up as well, I don't really think I get to talk about this too much, but in a game like this, of course, there is more opportunity, is just kind of how I love this Lindros-Leclerc third line, because it takes onus off them to be producing constantly, even though they really have been. They've been doing really well, but also it's just depth in the lineup is so critical. Here's Eric Stahl. Phillips around the boards. And another backhander goal. Smolinski's going to get the hat trick. It is 10-0. I do not know what overall Jamie's score is, but he must be terrible. Also notable in this game, Danny Heatley has not registered a goal, and we have 10 in this game. So here's Spezza. Oh, that nearly went in too. Just trying to get this game over with by the looks of it. Hurricanes are just... Oh, there it is, Spezza. I thought Spezza already had a goal. Nevertheless, maybe that's Havlat I'm thinking of, but an easy goal there. 11-0. It has been something else here. Oh my goodness, and even then, where you almost feel like the game's like, all right, let's just give one to Carolina here. There it is. Out. Cammond. And that'll do it. An 11-0 shutout at home against one of the worst teams in hockey at this time, the Carolina Hurricanes. We will let the 3 stars roll, and we'll jump out to preview our next matchup. So the headline says it all. What an unbelievable... First off, the shutout is not what we should be talking about. It should be talking about the fact we won 11-0. But, wow, you know what? We have played some really bad teams during this season so far. I was not expecting anything like that. That game was over before it started, man. That was crazy. Hasha gets a shutout. A lot of scorers on the board. A lot of guys who hadn't really scored much lately. I think Smolinski maybe has been pretty decent. Havlat there. Fisher got a goal in that one. Just can't really ask for much more in that game. All right, new email. Let's go take a look. We got 4. So no trades around the league and no trade offers. But team injury summary, Anton Volchenkov out till January 11th, so he's out a couple more weeks. Hot streaks. Brian Berard, Daniel Alfredson onto a hot streak. So we didn't see that, of course, because if it shows a headline or whatever, it doesn't show you the cold and hot streaks. We don't have any cold streaks at this point, so that's pretty good. Injury summary around the league. He pulled, I'm just trying to see, Alex Tongue is a pretty big one. Jay Bomeister out in Florida. Gary Roberts. Dude, look at Florida. Florida is banged up, dude. I feel like that's probably why they've dropped in the standings a bit. We'll go take a look at them, actually, after this. Recent signings, Lane Ulmer. At that point of the season. But let's go to the team reports. Let's go take a look at Florida, man. That is nuts. Florida was, and I mean still is, the first team in the league. They have been the best. But the gap, I think the gap's only 6 points now. They've potentially played more games than we have. But right there, oh my goodness. Bomeister, Metze, Roberts, Van Ryn, and Nieuwendyk all out of their lineup right now. That's pretty huge. So, anyways, coming off that game, we head into another matchup. Again, this is the portion of the schedule where we're facing a handful of teams that just aren't very good. But we get a brand new matchup in a couple episodes from now. But again, Atlanta, pretty middling. Washington, not great. Boston, actually, Phoenix is doing quite well. San Jose, surprisingly not that great. Surprisingly not that great at this time. Oilers are kind of hovering. Ducks are doing pretty well. Wild should be doing a little bit better. But a couple back-to-backers against the Leafs here. It's pretty good. But nevertheless, we're almost to December, or almost to January, I should say. This is our final game of December, and then we are fully into 2006. But of course, the thing we notice right there is the 75 overall on the goaltending side for the Islanders. So let's go ahead and preview this one. I think I was gonna put Denis in for both the Atlanta and Washington games. So Hasek will remain in, and then Denis gets two back-to-backers in the next few episodes, next stretch of episodes, I should say. But let's jump in and do a preview of this matchup right away. So the Islanders just sitting outside the playoffs at the current time. We have moved up one spot in the NHL rankings to 4th. We're still sitting 3rd in the conference. Kind of shows you how great the Eastern Conference is right now. In division, we're of course sitting 1st. I think we'll go take a look at the standings just after we finish up here. Back at home, we have the advantage in terms of offense, defense, goaltending overall. 100%, 4.26. Our goals for really jumped after that game. 2.83 against. No penalties in that game either, which is everything was scored at 5-on-5. For the Islanders, they are kind of a goal in and goal out team at this point in time. Garth Snow going to be in the net for them. Of course, they traded DiPietro earlier in the season to Buffalo. 2 stars across the board. Hasek, 3 stars across the board. Coming off the lightest work shutout in the last game. Team report, 2-1 win for the Islanders in their last game against their rival, the New York Rangers. Yeah, when I said a goal in, goal out, 112 for, 110 against. 10-3, 0-4 at home, though. Not a great road team, 7-9, 0-3. So that's, and I mean, they're on the road in this one. We're not expecting we're definitely expecting a win to hit double digits in terms of our winning streak, which is currently at 9. But we're not expecting that this is going to be a team that's overly good. And they're a healthy squad, too. So I know that they've got Jury. Usually he skates circles around our players. But there's so much less to deal with. They don't have a great goaltender anymore. They traded him away in DiPietro. They don't have Yashin anymore. They really downgraded with that Buffalo trade they made. So yeah, let's go take a look as well at our calendar because we've played the Islanders before this season. So let's jump back all the way to October. Didn't play them in October. We played them once or twice here. So we beat them 6-1 initially in our first meeting on November 5th. And then back here, 7-6 loss. That was the Cujo game that broke the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak. And we also played them here in a 6-5 win. So, wow, that is just going to look like an anomaly when we look back on this entire season. An 11-0 win here. But, yeah, this is another game that's very winnable for us. I'm really hoping we're a little bit better than... I would assume Denis was in the net, given it was a back-to-back in that game. So that is probably the reason. But we're expecting a win in this next one. And lastly, we want to go check out the team standings. So right now, Philadelphia 2 points ahead. We have 2 games in hand on them. And for Florida, we have 4 games in hand and only 6 points back. So the next time we match up against Florida, if we do this season, I would assume we do, just given their Eastern Conference opponents. That'll be a big one. It'll be a pretty big game. Let's do conference. Let's take a look at the West. Calgary, 53 points leading the Western Conference. Detroit, 52 leading their division in the Central at this point in time. Phoenix leading the Pacific Division, I would assume it is. Colorado, 50 points, 22-10. They're doing pretty good. Chicago, surprising Chicago's up here. Chicago was not good at this time. They're about to get like Patrick Kane. I think they drafted Jonathan Taves this year, like this coming off season. So that tells you that they weren't great at all because Taves was a decently high draft pick. The Ducks, a bit of a surprise here. This is kind of when they were kind of a middling team at this point. They missed for a couple years. Then they got Niedermeyer. Then they traded for Pronger. Minnesota, I would expect, is a little bit better. Vancouver at this time was really good. Edmonton, of course, would march on to the Stanley Cup Finals here. They have Pronger. So maybe Edmonton's a team to keep an eye on here as we progress throughout the season. Just due to the fact that they have Chris Pronger. Although we would probably prefer a right shot defenseman if we're bringing any in right now. But yeah, like it's a little surprising that Edmonton's not doing so well. Dallas, another team. Dude, the 2005 series, they were terrible. We got Modano and Guerin from them at the deadline. They were not good, and they're not doing horrible. They're not out of the playoffs by any stretch. They're just not doing as well as we expected. St. Louis at this time, I feel, was kind of in and out. San Jose was in the middle of their like 20-year consecutive playoff streak almost. LA, yeah, that's not surprising. Columbus and Nashville, definitely not surprising they're down here. So that's a little interesting there. But back to the East, I think Florida was not overly good at this point in time. So it's a little shocking they're up here. They do have Luongo. So that's something. Philadelphia, not really a shocker. This is back when they were competing a little bit. They were pretty good, honestly. They were kind of retooling on the fly at this point in time after going to the conference finals. Ottawa, of course, ourselves. New Jersey, good. Nothing really to say there. Montreal. I think Montreal makes the playoffs, but I think they just slip in. They play Carolina in the first round in real life, so not a surprise. Tampa Bay, not a surprise. Boston, I think they missed in 05-06. I'd have to check that. Toronto, 05-06. Philly, first round maybe. Islanders, not a shocker. And then, of course, you know what? The usual suspects and not being in the playoffs here. Buffalo certainly is the one team that stands out as you should probably be up here and you're not. What the hell is going on? But the Rangers, Washington, Carolina's, oh man, Carolina's bad. I think it's Nashville who only has 20 points, by the way. I'm just going to go. Nashville might be a team just really ripe for the picking at this deadline. Yeah, it looks like they're going to be. Wow. They are not doing good at all. 125 goals against. Well, that's a little unfair. It's probably negate like 6 of those goals. Given they just lost by 11. 87 goals for San Jose against. That's pretty. So far, that's best in the NHL. Oh, never mind. Chicago getting some crazy goaltending from Habib Bulin. Montreal getting some good goaltending from Theodore. Of course, Brodeur. We have 99 against. That's pretty normal. Calgary getting some really good goaltending from Mika Kiprasov. And Florida just seems to be outscoring all their troubles, but we are, I would assume now, we are the best offensive team in the league. Looks to be that way. And while we're doing this, we'll extend this just by a few more minutes. Just want to, take a look at our Bondra, Smolinski, Havlat, the second line doing really well. Top line's doing great. Spezza assisting. Heatley's really slowing down his goal scoring pace, which is kind of crazy. But now he's just adding in assists, and Alfredson is a goal scorer, like kind of a goal in, assist out kind of player right now. Lindros doing pretty well down there. Leclerc, Redden's doing fine. Phillips is kind of overperforming right now for what I expect of him. McCann at 11 goals, pretty good. Berard hasn't done a ton since he came over in the trade, but honestly, he's stable defensive play, and that's kind of all we really want. But yeah, honestly, Todd Simpson, I didn't realize he played 25 games this season. Must have been before we made that Cujo and Chara trade. But yeah, everybody's playing pretty well. Every player who has put on the jersey so far this season has actually gotten points, so that's been pretty awesome to see. Like, Lecision has played 3 games, he's got 2 assists. That's pretty good. In terms of our goaltending, it's hard to like accurately look at his stats just because he played for Columbus. But Hasek at 211, 18-6. Oh, I think maybe we lost in overtime, so maybe it's an 0-1 or 0-2 or something. But an 8-9-6, that's kind of as good as you get. And of course, that shutout's our first of the season. So, anyways, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Click like if you like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you really liked it. Hit that notification bell if you want these videos as soon as they upload. And as always, we'll catch you guys on the next.